Hello and welcome to the first part in a series of video tutorials that will show you how to get from this template I've provided you with to a design that looks something more like this. So we're going to go from a design that looks like this, just a bland template, to something more that looks like a real website like the following. So we'll begin on the CSS file to make the header of this site look more like the header of the sample site that I've designed. So let's go over to Visual Studio Code. Here in Visual Studio Code, I've downloaded the code for this template and placed it inside a folder and opened it up. So I have the CSS file open, simple-layout.css. The first thing I want to do is I want to look at the header, because it has a background of this pink color, so I want to change that. I'm going to change it from this garish pink to white. So FFF will give us white, and I'll leave the rest of the styling alone for now. Let's see what this looks like. Now that this is white, we're starting to get somewhere. The next thing I want to do is bring in this logo. So I'll save this logo into a folder in Visual Studio Code. I'm going to create a folder here and call it images. Inside images, I'm going to place my images. So I'll save this logo, or if you've got a logo, place that image into your images folder. So save image as, and I'll find where I've placed that logo. So I have a folder called images, and I'm going to save the image into there. Oh, I already have it. That's not the folder I'm working from. So I've found the folder I'm working from where I've downloaded the template. I'm going to save my logo. You'll have a different logo, or just go off to the internet and design a logo through a free logo package or wherever you're getting your logo from. So I'll save it. I'll go back to Visual Studio Code, and I want to go and replace where it says div class logo with the image for that file. So instead of div class logo, I'm going to say img image, source is images, / and logo should appear. So I'll just put in logo for my alt text in here. Save this and let's look. There we go, there's our logo, it's in. So the next thing I want to do is I want to pick some colors off this logo to set the tone for the colors on my website. So I'm going to pick a green off this, and I'm going to make this nav bar area the similar green to what's in my logo. How do I go about that? Well, you'll want to install a color picker plugin for your browser. So depending on what browser you're using, whether it be Firefox, Chrome, or Opera like me, go off and find a color picker. So I Google search color picker or eyedropper for Google Chrome, and I found this color picker eyedropper and I installed it. So what I can do then is you'll see it installed up on your browser beside your browser address, and I click on this icon and it should start up, and I'll go select a color from the logo, and let's see, not too dark and not too light of a green, so I'll go pick this green here. So I'm going to copy this green and I'm going to change the background color of this navigation. So back over to Visual Studio Code, open up my CSS file and find where is the background for that nav bar. Here it is here, nav bar background color teal. I don't want that anymore. I'm going to replace that with this green, and I'm going to also change the padding on the nav bar to 0.4 em, just to narrow it up a little. Let's see, has that worked? Yeah, so now we have a nav bar with a green that matches a green from our logo. So I need to go take off this grey area in this simple layout, this kind of product layout that I've given you. So I'm going to go back over to Visual Studio Code. Again, let's see, that it should be in my CSS somewhere. Scroll on down. I have a media query here that I want to move later on, so I am going to move that because it's not sitting at the end of my file, so I do need to move that media query. I'm going to move that to the very end of my document. Here it is here. Oh, and I have two media queries, so bit too much. So let's see, row, flex direction, column. I might have, just make sure that's not repeated. No, I don't think so. So I'm going to move these media queries into this media query here for this breakpoint of 768 and just get rid of this. I'm going to save this. Alright, so where is that background? So that background color on the column, I get rid of that background color on the column. Let's see what that has done. Okay, so that's got rid of the background colors, and I have this nice green that kind of actually goes well. So I've already set this main area to a green, and then the body area to this kind of dark kind of green gray. So the next thing I want to do, so let's see how this is looking. It's looking fairly similar. I want to work on the title here of the website, so I want to change site title. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's change the site title. Let's just change it first in our HTML. So let's change this to 7 Springs Flower Shop, or whatever your shop is going to be called. So that's now changed, but I want it to look like this. So how did I achieve that? So this is a Google Web Font. So if you Google Web Fonts, you'll come on to a page like this called Google Fonts. Okay, so in the search for fonts, I wanted to search for a floral type font. Nothing came up for that. Flower. Maybe it's too restrictive. What I done, I think I went to categories. I think it was handwriting. That's it. So I chose just a handwriting font, and then I picked a font that I liked. I liked this Dancing Script. So I clicked on Dancing Script, and I clicked on here, select this style. So I selected the style, and then I used this @import. So I imported this here, copy this. I just copy out the @import bit, and I went over to Visual Studio Code, into my CSS, And if I paste that up the very top of Visual Studio Code, see, where's the very top? It's not letting me in. And I'm going to paste that here. I'm now be able to use this font called Dancing Script. So I will place Dancing Script into my header H2. Actually, what I done was I didn't place it into my header H2. I made all of my headers this Dancing Script. So my H1, H2 and H3s are all Dancing Script font, and they're a cursive type font. So you should go research what cursive type fonts are. They're more of a floral type font. I'm going to put these because this is a selector here under body. So I want all my So what I'll see is all my H1s and H2s and H3s will change to this style font. No, something's gone wrong there. Maybe I didn't save the CSS file. Let me go back. Save it. No, I didn't save it. Control S. And there we go. All my H1s, H2s and H3s will be that cursive type. So it's starting to look more like this. For this part here, I just changed something. So let's look at what did I change. So let's have a little look. So what I done to get this column over to the left was I actually took text align center off the column. So you see here on the row we've got text align center. I don't want that. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to create a new class called products, and I'm going to put text align center in there. Text align, and you'll see why in a moment. Text align center. So here we go. This is left aligned now, exactly how I want it. But this isn't centered, and I do want these to be centered. So what I'll do is I'll go into my HTML file on this simple layout HTML, and I'll put on the class products onto this. So simple layout, and I know that I'm in products and they're going to be centered, and you could add additional styling to those. So it's a column, but they're products, so I know that I want the text to be aligned center. Okay, and that should have worked. Okay, so we're nearly there. We've our logo done. Our menu. Is our menu looking good? Yeah, our menu is looking good. Now I want to change the color and style of my links to come from my logo as well. So I've picked an orange color. So I want to pick an orange color. So I want to pick an orange color out of this logo. So green and orange are going to be the kind of green and orange are the kind of two primary colors of my site. So I'm going to pick this orange here. Copy this. Go over to Visual Studio, and I come back to my simple layout, and up here we either have or we don't have. No, we don't have any styling, default styling for our anchor tags, so we'll do that right now. So I'm going to say anchor tags are going to have a color of this orange, and my hover state on my anchor tags are going to have maybe something similar. So I'll put in the same, but text decoration none. So when I hover over them, the the underline is going to disappear. So I'll make this slightly less orange on my hover. So I click on this color, and it should bring up the color picker, and I'll just drag it across just a little bit, so it'll be ever so slightly a different color when I hover over it. And there we go. You see there is our colors. Let's just take this color picker off for a moment. Escape from this. Let's close this. And there's my orange color. So we're almost there. Now what I did change the color and some of the styling on the default paragraphs. So I'll show you what I done there, because it's a little bit dark. So what I'm going to do for the paragraph font is I'm going to use Roboto Font from Google Fonts. I ticked all the categories again. I searched for Roboto. So here's the font I want, Roboto. It's a nice font. I am going to select light 300 or maybe regular 400. I'll select regular 400, and it will add it to this import. So I'm going to replace that add import on my CSS file with that new one. So save that. And here is the default paragraph styling that I want. I'm going to make all my paragraph colors this dark. It's almost black, so that's 333, 333. Roboto, I'll make it 16px. I'll make the font weight 300. I'll give it a line height. That's the line height between sentences, and a bottom margin of 15px. So let's have a look at what that looks like on our template now. And there we go. And that's a little bit more modern looking. So that's what our font is going to look like. So now that I've that done, all I need to do is just replicate this page a number of times for my home page, about page, products page, contact page, and checkout. So let's set this up. We're going to take, so I'm still on my simple layout, so it's called simple layout.html. So I just want to duplicate this a number of times. So I'm going to copy this, copy, right click and paste. I'm going to call this index. I'll right click and rename this index.html. I'm going to call this one I'm going to duplicate this simple layout, copy, and I'm going to say paste it. Just right click here and paste, and I'm going to right click on this and call it about. Oops, I'm gone into my browser. Rename this to about.html. So I'll copy about and paste it, and I'm going to rename this my products. And you can do the same then for contact and for your checkout page, but we will need to change the layout of them. So we've got an index page, so let me go do that and I'll be back to you in a moment. So now that I've all the page duplicated and copied, I have an about.html, a checkout.html, index.html, products.html. What I should do is go and change the title tag of each page. So this will be my home page for 7 Springs Flower. That's my home page for 7 Springs Flower. I have an about page for 7 Springs Flower. So about 7 Springs Flowers. checkout and do that for your checkout and your products. But let's go back to index. Now we need to change our menu to link to these pages. So I'm going to type index.html in here, about.html in here, our products will be our products.html, and then our drop down will be single product. So these are just, at the moment, they're just we're just templating a website. Our single product and our contact. Did I do a contact page? I forgot to do that, but I can do it now. Contact.html and checkout.html. So I forgot to set up a contact page, so let's set that up. Copy the about page, paste, and we're going to rename this contact. Okay, so from the home page, I have set up, so from index.html, which is our home page, I've set up all the correct links to all our other pages. So let's see if that's working. So if I go to, let's open that up. So index.html. And now it has this layout, which we'll get rid of in a moment. If I click about.html, it takes me to the about page. But now I'm on the about page. If I click on products, it doesn't take me to the correct page. Let's look contact. So that brings me to the contact page. So we're on the home page now. This is index, and you'll see no difference between the pages, so that's kind of hard to see. So what I want to do is I need to replicate that menu across each page. So go back into your HTML and just take this portion of the HTML and paste it across all your other pages. So I'll go to checkout, and it was this div for menu. So this div for menu is what I copied, and I'm going to just paste it across it so that it has all the correct pages, and the same on the about. Same on the contact. Same on the products. Okay, so now that we have that done, let's change our home page to look more like a home page. So I don't want all of these products. I'll leave this H2 in for now. So let's just have two columns, a two-column layout. So it's just going to get rid of the products there. I'll leave in the paragraph for now. Delete this. Delete that. I don't want that. So it's just one row with two columns. And we'll get rid of this. So I'm going to get rid of the rest of these columns. Let's see that column there. Get rid of it. And I'm going to get rid of all of this row. Let's make sure I'm deleting the correct stuff. Yeah, that's right. So I have a row. There's the start and finish of the row, and now a column and a column. So what do we want in a column? Okay, so maybe on the home page we'll say welcome to Seven Springs Flower Shop, and we could put in a big paragraph here about what we're about. So I'm just going to type some lorem in here. So lorem, all right. And in the second column we could have something else, like a video introducing our site. So let me show you how I would put a video in. So I have a two-column layout. There's an invisible column here. This is a column and this is a column. See here, div column within the row. And I want a video in this section. So I'm going to go off to YouTube and say, for example, you have a video uploaded to YouTube. I can embed this video into the home page of the site. So click share, go get the embed code. So I'm going to get this code here, copy it, and I'm going to paste it into this area here. So paste. Alright, save this and let's look at what this looks like on our page. Did that work? Yes. So here's the video embedded. Now let's look at what this looks like in mobile view. So I have one breakpoint for 768 and it looks okay for now, but if I get smaller, yeah. So what happens is if I get smaller, this video is breaking out of our content area. So that's not good on smaller sizes. So we need to fix that. That's a problem with the YouTube embed code. So what I'm going to do on this iframe here, I'll get rid of this width and height. Instead I'll say style and I'll say width 100%, comma, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, but it's very narrow, so it is staying within the confines of its column. And we'll make a height, and we'll use the viewport height for this. So we'll say 50 VH and see what this looks like. And yep, there we go. That looks much better. It will be responsive and it will shrink to fit my browser window. So that is part 1 of this series of how to change to get from a template that I've given you to something like this. In the next part I will show you how to get more images in and how to set up a contact page and a single product page. Okay, bye for now.